take us back to the beginning. How did you discover your passion for the arts and storytelling?
Well, I was at school. I found my home in the drama department at school. It was the only thing that I could feel myself like really applying myself to. I was immersed in it, and I always wanted to do more. So I think when I left school, it wasn't really a choice about whether or not I was going to pursue it. It was just what I did. It was kind of an important part of my identity, actually. So um, just cracked on.
When you look at your career as a whole, who or what has had the biggest influence, either personally or professionally?
I've had some really good mentorship in my career, and I would say different people at different stages have been really important people to me. But I would say a very important moment when I was in my early 20s. A director that had seen me in a fringe theatre show kind of gave me some, yeah, she kind of gave me some mentorship and a bit of coaching, and eventually she was directing a show at the Royal Shakespeare Company in the UK, and I got a part in that, and that was a really, really big deal for me at the time. That was really exciting, and yeah, I owe a lot to her over those few years, and and then there have been people like that over the course of my career so far that have kind of been pivotal.
In addition to acting, you're also a writer. How has your work behind the scenes made you a stronger actor and vice versa?
I think understanding when you start writing, you start to understand structure in a way that you might not necessarily think about when you're approaching a script as an actor, and it's kind of it's formulaic. A thing that I've picked up with my auditions, for example, is if I get an audition side, I look at what page number it's on. If it's on like page 20, then chances are it's in act 2, or and I'm kind of
Interesting.
I have become more aware of like what purpose the scene is serving in the story. It's very useful. It's very useful to work on all different departments.
Yeah, you're one of the stars of The Quest, which is one of the most unique series that I've ever seen. Can you
Yeah,
tell us about the project, your character, and what drew you to it?
yeah. It is unique. It's totally unique. I've kind of made my way through it, and it's like nothing I've ever seen before. It's incredible. It's a very, very special project, and I think it just appeals to so many different uh, people for so many different reasons. It's this immersive kind of epic fantasy world produced by the producers of Lord of the Rings, The Amazing Race, and Queer Eye. So you've got like people at the top of their game from different sectors of the industry in kind of scripted drama and competition series and reality series. And it's
Yeah.
all one kind of hybrid world with scripted actors and non-scripted contestants. So we live out we play out an 8-episode narrative structure for a whole TV series with 8 real life people who have been plopped into our world to help us complete our quest. And I play one of the princes of Everrealm, which is Prince of Sanctum, which is like it's a big city in Everrealm, and it's a really, really cool character with an amazing arc. I was very lucky
Mhm.
to have that opportunity. He kind of starts out as this kind of broody, combative, arrogant prince, and through a series of humbling failures throughout the series, he learns how to collaborate and become a better man, and that was really fun because I think there are definitely some clear moments in the series where that happens for him, and I really enjoy kind of going through like the long
Mhm.
trajectory and pitching those moments. That's a fun thing for an actor.
Yeah, actually, perfect segue to this next question. But like you were just saying, throughout the series, we're going to see your character's journey from boy to man, all while kind of living through his grief. How did you, as an actor, create the space for yourself to dive into his arc?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think I came at it from a few different angles. I think a good thing to do is always to look at the starting point. Like, where are we starting? What has just happened? What is going on in his life at the moment? And I think I think the thing that was most prevalent is grief at the beginning of that, and what how does grief manifest
Mhm.
in Cedric? Um, and I haven't experienced the kind of grief that he's going through in the series. But I looked into it, and I read around it, and it was definitely kind of important in the discussions that I had with the production team, and so I think that was the starting point. I was looking at kind of masculine issues, like I just turned 30, so that I think kind of I was going through a transitional point in my life as well, just in terms of changing digits. And I think that there's just a number, but it happens for different people at different times in their life. And I think for me it was like one of those times in my life where things were changing and I felt like I was growing up. And I definitely used that to kind of give richness and realness to the character.
And like you're saying, this series does such a beautiful job balancing scripted and unscripted. How helpful was your experience in the theater when preparing for this role, and how challenging was it to kind of marry those two different worlds?
Yeah, it's a good question as well. Yeah, I mean, my background is theatrical, so I think that was useful because I think with a theatrical training, a good theatrical training, you learn to make the scene about other people. So you're aware of everyone else in the space, and you're responsive to them, and you're not thinking so much about yourself. Um, so I think that was a key thing with the improv. And so being aware of my colleagues, the other actors, and then also being aware of the contestants, and also kind of knowing that it's okay, whatever I did was okay. I think in the theatre, when it's different every single night,
Yeah.
you can't do it the same way every time. So whatever you do is just the way it is. It's live, and I think that's the special thing about performing for a live audience. And I think I just kind of took that mentality and applied it to this project. And I guess the only difference is that I'm being filmed, and in terms of my performance style, I didn't need to project. I could keep things more internal, and when the camera's on you, and you most of the time I could feel when it was, I kept it contained as much as possible so that the performance wasn't too theatrical.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a more theatrical. It's more theatrical stylistically than a straight down the line TV series, I would say.
And then outside of the quest, you have another project that you're working on right now. Is there anything you can tell us about Masters of the Air?
Yeah. So I'm not working on it anymore. I finished in December, but I was on that project for about 8 months. It was a very, very different project. I play a real life person, a guy called Donald Strout. He was a navigator in one of the B-17 planes in the American Air Force in the Second World War. So it was a privilege to play someone who actually existed. And the show is produced by Spielberg and Tom Hanks. It's the kind of the next offering in the Band of Brothers trilogy, and it's very much in a similar vein. It's very real, and I guess its focal point is the camaraderie and the relationships, and just like it follows the boys that participated in that awful war.
Very cool. This is such an exciting time in your career. As you look ahead to the next 5, 10 years, is there a dream role that you would love to bring to life, either on the stage or screen?
I don't have anyone in particular in mind, but I've enjoyed playing real life people. Um, I would love to be in a biopic of someone really interesting and kind of layered. Um, I would love a really meaty performance like that. I don't know who it is, and I don't know what projects are going to be made in the next 5 or 10 years. But yeah, let's put that out there, and
Yeah.
yeah.